Alright, what's up guys? So finally got a little bit of time here, kind of late, but finally got a chance to do my review, so I definitely want to go over some stuff. Only traded 3 days, didn't trade Monday, didn't trade yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a strange day, I guess. Just a weird case of being green on the week and kind of letting emotions take over, I suppose. You know, I sat up and I watched the market, but I didn't end up trading anything. It seemed pretty slow for as much as I stayed and watched. It was fairly slow, not too much going on. The week was pretty good though. Let's see, made 140, spent 34 in commission, so $106. I haven't made $106 quite some time. I guess you could say a month. So actually, yeah, 44%. Only took 9 trades. Really, nothing too extreme. You know, I'm just kind of coming out of this week still. Last week, you know, I lost $6, but overall was profitable on the weekend. This week was a little bit better, you know, less trades, but much better profit taking. Really, you can see I got a 1R, 3R, almost another 3, and then another 1. So I mean, all of my winners this whole week hit my profit target. As compared to last week, you can see a bunch of these are just I guess from here on, you know, we got a bunch of them that are smaller than 1. So I mean, last week was a bunch of small winners, and this week was, you know, a couple decent sized winners there. I mean, my 3 biggest trades were, what is that, a total of almost 200 bucks there. So I mean, it's pretty big deal there. And then I didn't have a single trade that was bigger than $25 loser, so that's another definitely a big deal. So last week the goals were to take the best setups, use full size, wait for the real pattern, and pay attention to the breaking of the 9 EMA versus the closing of the 9 EMA. So my goals really for this week didn't really have anything to do with the profit taking, because the week before that I pretty much covered the profit taking. You know, if I'm up 1R, then I want to be taking profits and don't let it turn against me. So I guess we'll have to see what exactly, if they were the best setups or whatnot. I know there were probably a couple of cases where I didn't use as much size as I could. For this one, for instance, I'm only risking $7-8. 40 there, you know, 16, 15, 12, 25. So I mean, I'm keeping my risk really small. But I mean, risking 25 to make 80, that's a pretty big deal. Risking 12. And then, you know, I want to see what the deal is with these trades here, you know, why these are bigger than minus 1R. That's kind of the big picture, I guess, is what I'm looking for this review. The mistakes that I made though last week were didn't respect the bigger time frame. Told me it was a better long, took it short anyways. Headed into resistance, up 1R, didn't take partial again. So I forced a couple trades, didn't wait for the pattern to play out. Could use bigger size, and I took a partial too early. So let's just get started. Looked at Tiva. I remember this one never ended up getting to above 14. Come on. Okay, so look at MDLZ volume. First glance, volume definitely thinned out, but I love these trades where the 20 catches up and gets on over the top of it, and then it kind of just rolls over underneath it. I know that's in practice. What I was practicing yesterday, I had a pretty big trade that did exactly that too, and I'm pretty sure at least one of these trades did that too. Oh, my cat. Where am I at? Okay, MDLZ. So 50 volume, 404, 322, below the VWAP, short in 150. Risk at 41.91, and I'm in at, so risking about 11 cents. Max favorable was my entry, so it looks like this trade never went in my favor once. I was out at 95, so a little bit 4 cents over where I was trying to get out, and it was never profitable even afterwards. So let's see what happened. So first glance, noticing this huge candle here and the huge wicks, both of them here. I want to see. It's not a circuit breaker, so I can definitely place an order below that. I think one thing that I should have noticed is that you know, these are some big wicks. Like, there's obviously a lot of support underneath that. So what I should be looking to do is maybe take half size, which actually might have been what I did here. You know, take half size around the 80 and then add the rest under this wick here, and then, you know, my profit target's probably going to be about 60. So I mean, it's not the biggest trade, but it definitely looks good pattern wise. So I have 2 orders in at 81 and another one at 77. So I did do that right. I got in at 80, and it doesn't look like it ever hit 77. So pulled right up again. Looks like 80 is going to be a tough area to get through. And then, I mean, it just turned right up against me. So I mean, that was actually a pretty good deal there. Obviously, want to keep the size small to start, and then add full if it gets, you know, if it breaks that recent support. So I mean, I traded that pretty good. I mean, I guess I could have cut it earlier, but you know, a $22 loser is never a bad deal. I mean, it started squeezing me up. I caught the top of that candle. So I did take UA. I was probably still looking at MDLZ. Look at the time of day. So I waited a little bit for that to play out again. So I took a falling wedge. I gave myself an error on this one. I'm not 100% sure why. Took 500 shares, risking $40, so about 8 cents. So I'm in at 85. This is an awkward trade because my target RR is 3/4. Max favorable 85. So I mean, again, it was another trade that never went in my favor once. Let's see what happens. Lots of trend lines. Usually the inside lines are the 5-minute ones. So I mean, it's getting tighter and tighter. Circuit breaker, so I can use a stop limit. Volume's okay. Looking at above 50,000 about an average there. Obviously, it's going to have some problems breaking over the 20. You can see going back here, kind of squeezed up. There's probably another wedge right here that it squeezed up and bounced off the 20, bounced off 20, bounced off 20. And then now we're going to see what it does at the 20 again here. Okay, so oh, I remember this one. This was I talked to my mentor about this one after the trade. I used the market order because I forgot that on circuit breakers you just can't short with a limit order. You can long with a limit order, just not short. So I mean, I caught this move way too late. I think I was trying to get in at 81. I mean, a break right, yeah, definitely 81. So that happened really fast too. 79. Try to get a little cleaner. 79, 80, 81, and then it pops up pretty quick up there to 85, and I am in at 85. So there's me right there. I'm the one guy that got filled at 85, and the rest of everybody else is at 82, 83, 84. That's kind of ridiculous, but obviously just the way it is. So I mean, if I was wanting to trade this and I got in at the right time, you know, I might have gotten filled at 81 or 82. Profit target was the 50 coming in on it, but can't really see too much resistance. I mean, this isn't really enough. I wish I looked at the 5-minute chart here. Okay, I was in and out of that trade real quick. I do want to look at the 5-minute. And this was where am I looking here? It was the 31st. Okay, this must have been in here, so we're definitely getting down underneath it. I ended up getting long right where it closed. I got up to 92 though. I mean, just looking at it on the 5s here, that's about all you can really do with the fives. I mean, I squeezed up, made a decent move, but I remember I bailed on the trade just because I had such a horrible entry that even if, yeah, that's why the target RR is so bad on it. Even if it went up, you know, 6 cents, my risk is just, it's ugly. Like it's a really bad entry. It was probably a smart idea to do that, because you know, if I gave it any more space to turn against me, I mean, I'm risking 4 cents, which is 20 bucks already from where my entry was supposed to be, and then I have my original risk of where I wanted it to be. So I mean, horrible entry, only losing 10 bucks on it. That was probably, I think that was a smart idea. Alright, so MDLZ is making a wedge. Same situation as UA. It's got to break out over the 20, 55. Probably could have made it 54. It's a lot of green. Definitely a good sign. So I'm already, okay, I already got in half of 52. And I'm looking to take the rest over the recent highs of these 1 minute candles here. What did I do? Risk is at 49, so below the 9 minute. Target RR for the first half is 4.33 there. In at 52, in at 55. So I'm trying to get. So I'm risking 3 cents on this trade. I'm risking 6 cents on that trade to get 10, and risking 3 to get 13. It got up to 62, so it didn't hit my profit target, so I must have taken profits pretty early. Very nice pop. Okay, so we got a very nice move to start off. I'm up $37. So it looks like the bid's at 61. So let's see. If I was risking 3 cents and then I was risking 6 cents, and I'm up 6 cents, so right here is where my 1-to-1 is. So right here is where I should be taking a profit. But I think oh yeah. Oh, okay, I did. I took half there. This is definitely a really nice initial move. But you know, the same situation, you don't want to let it turn against you. What am I looking at? But it is turning against me. Trade starts turning negative on it. So for my average size, the way that I record my trades is my first, if I do a half, my half and then my partial is my first exit. So this whole trade usually always lasts like a minute or so. So I mean, I was in and out of this one super quick. And I got it at 61. And then 52 is where I would want to not let it go. And it looks like it's going to get right there. But I'm not cutting it. I think that might have been the situation where I was thinking about, you know, there's a difference between it closing below the 9 and it just, you know, breaking the 9. So we're holding it above on the 5s, which is definitely a good sign. It's just the volume. The volume on the 5 minute doesn't look great, but that 1 minute candle volume looks really good. And it starts turning against me again. Yeah, I should be out. I'm letting it go a little bit too long there. Just looking at it, you can see how it's, you know, it doesn't really have much behind it anymore. You see the volume just is dead after the first initial move. So I mean, I could have cut that a little bit earlier. So mistakes made. I cut my loss too late. Stock showed weakness. And I let it go too far. Took my partial though. at the right spot, which is definitely the main goal. I want to be making sure that I'm taking money off. First mistake that I made. Um, just I can use the stop limit on circuit breakers if I'm longing it only. So that was it for that day. I didn't do anything else. Okay. Wasn't a terrible day. Probably that last trade, really, the UA, the first trade, there was nothing I could really do about it. I think I played that one right. Maybe I could have saved a penny or two. Kind of the same situation with the second trade that I took on MDLZ. Again, probably could have saved, definitely could have saved a penny or two. And then the UA trade, just a rule that just slipped my mind, I guess. Okay, November 1st. So I took CHKP long, only 50 shares. I was in at, looks like a break of a whole number, risking about 25 cents or so, 24 cents, trying to get 70 cents out of it. Max favorable was 106.12, so this was a trade where it was never in my favor. I was in it for 3 minutes, but it definitely was profitable after after I got out. So it looks like if I held on to it there. Alright, so it's falling wedge. So the volume is also pretty ugly. Not any crazy resistance overhead. The only difference between this one is that the 9 is overhead too, and the 20. With the other trades that I was taking, you know, the 9 was kind of like in the middle of it. It wasn't overhead like it is here, you know, because it's gotta break the 9 and then it's gotta break the 20, possibly all on the same candle. So I'm wondering if I see this again in the future, if this means that the stock is just gonna, it might break and then it might retest lower and then move higher again. We'll see. Bid stepping up. So got it at 09. But that 20 was holding it. Fives are interesting, I guess. It's holding above the 9 though. That's not a good sign, obviously. Okay, and then I cut it again. I'm gonna skip because I want to see what it looked like at the end. Okay, so it pulled back and then it kind of consolidated again a little underneath it. I should have been paying attention to this trade because obviously you can see that again it holds above the 9 and then the 20 gets just even tighter. Even so, you know, volume picks up again and then the real move happens. So another mistake, I didn't stay for the real move. I mean, the real move happened 5 minutes later. That's all it took. If I was watching it, what was the time? So that's 10:20. I took EVHC at 10:40. So I mean, I don't really know what I was looking at. There was definitely time to take it. Oh well. Okay, EVHC. Another falling wedge. Felt like a 2. Volume's 100K. 250 shares. Risking 10 cents to make 20, so 2 to 1. In at the whole number. Definitely a really good trade here. was only 8 cents against me. Same situation. Okay, so in this case, we already broke above the 9, and it got retested by the 20, came back, and now it's kind of the same situation where the 9s look like it's starting to take over again. But I have half my order in at 06. So on the break of the whole number, which is the 20, I am getting full size. So I'm not doing half and half on this one. These wicks kind of worry me though. Stop loss is a close below the 9. Buying coming in. Now I just gotta break through the 20. What was my profit target? Profit target was 20 cents, okay. So right about where the 50's at. The 90 is definitely holding. Nope. 5 looks pretty good. Yeah, 5 looks alright. Okay, so there's the move. That happened pretty quick too. Yeah, that happened in an instant. See the 92, 91. And then boom, something huge happens. Huge buyer came in, knocking everything out of the way. Wish I could get the time frame looking all right here. Came up, came right back though. So it definitely went down to 92. So at this point, I should be thinking, alright, we broke through the whole number, but it looks like these resistance where these wicks are is kind of still acting like it's going to be pretty big resistance. So what I should be thinking is, alright, how am I going to get out of this trade? Because that might be too strong for this stock to really break through. But it gets back up there pretty quick. And then I saw it. You see the big buyers are coming in now. So we got 81 and a 30 there. There's a couple of 80s there. So then it really starts moving. So I took a partial real quick. Did I? So I was risking 10 cents, and now I'm at about 10 cents. And I said, forget that, I'm taking my partial right now. Okay, so that was probably a good idea, because the stock initially had a pretty nice move, but it didn't rip through it like I usually like to see it. So you kind of got to play it a little cautious, I guess. And you know, if I'm gonna get that 10 cents, I'd better take that 10 cents on this, especially with the 50 coming down on it like that. But then it just starts going through, and I mean, pulling back a little bit. I mean, now it really starts moving. Let's get that big move up. It happened so fast. Oh man, I blew that one. I missed out on a lot of profit there. So we're at 30, 38, 39, and then all of a sudden it jumps up crazy huge. I'm trying to get it so that I can see time and sales pretty clearly. That's not right. So I mean, this thing just all of a sudden, I don't know what that was. All of a sudden this thing just jumped up 20 cents out of nowhere. See, it's a 58, 45. I already took my partial though. Where did I take my partial? Oh, I took another partial right there. That's too bad. I took that partial right as it got to that 40. I mean, that's a good spot to take it. I mean, I definitely should have done it. You can see how it bounced off of the 40 so many times, but then all of a sudden, within the next couple of seconds, that thing blows right through it. I mean, I'm up another 40 bucks on that trade. That's another, what, 60 shares for 20 cents is, what is that? I should know this. That's another 12 bucks. That's nothing special, I guess. But I mean, it went up right to where the 9 is, and then I'm totally out. I mean, because that's where the 5-minute resistance on the 9 EMA was at. So that was pretty. I don't know, because that's like that's just a trade that you don't see happening like that, really. I mean, obviously, if it does that, you obviously want to be a part of that. But that thing, it never stopped. It went all the way up, broke past 28 through the VWAP like it was nothing. And I mean, if I held on to that last partial with my and waited for it to close below the 9 EMA, that's a big move. Let's see, it's up in the 30s now. I mean, it's still moving higher. Like, I don't know. There's just, if I was trading like 1,000 shares, then I could take partial where I was supposed to, so I'd have 500 shares left, and then another 250, and then another 125 where the 9 was at, and then I would probably be totally out where the VWAP is. Because I'm only trading 250 shares, I can only take 2 partials, because, you know, if I took another half size off with 63 shares, like, what's 30 shares isn't gonna do anything for me. I mean, obviously in this case it would have done something for me, but you know, that probably would have added another 30 bucks, but I mean, this is a home run trade. This doesn't happen too often. But I feel like I traded that one pretty good, you know. You can just never tell if a trade's gonna do that, and that's just crazy. Okay, so last day was November 2nd, looking at W, trading a couple symmetrical flags, triangles. So I took it short once and then I took it long. Risk of 58.70, profit target was 57, so I'm trying to make $1.70, and I'm in at the whole number, so I'm risking 64 to make $1.06. Ended up losing 15 bucks on the trade. Gave myself a 9 for the compliance. What is 9? Entered before the signal. So let's see what mistake I made. So another circuit breaker. Volume's thinning out. We are below. Huh. So I entered on a market order on this one. So obviously I want to get it underneath the whole number, but at the same time it's not really making a triangle right now. It's kind of, it's retesting VWAP right now. It's not really, I don't know, if anything this is more of a VWAP bounce than a triangle. Well, it's both, but it's not a really clean triangle. And then it's kind of the, yeah, see, now it's a better triangle, but it's the same situation. You know, it has to break that whole number, and if it's not going to break the whole number, then there is supposed to be no trade. But I think with a stock that was moving as fast as this one, you know, I didn't want to, you know, have it break the whole number and then all of a sudden I'm entering in, you know, 50 cents off of where I wanted my target to be, or my entry to be. See, now it's starting to look better for a long almost, because it looks like it wants to move higher. Okay, I did exit the trade though. Okay. So I ended up losing 10 bucks on it. Well, it wasn't 10 bucks at the time, it was like 15 or something. Probably could have exited a little bit early. I mean, earlier, save myself some pennies, but shouldn't have been in the trade in the first place. So now it's starting to get held by the 20s catching underneath it. It's kind of like the reverse side now. You know, I'm talking about those wedges, and you know, whenever the 20 kind of catches underneath it and then it breaks down or whatever. Or not for the wedges, that was the triangle that I took on MDLZ, I think it was. You know, you want to see it get underneath the 20 whenever it finally catches up, and now in this case it looks pretty good for a long because 20's underneath and 9's underneath, and this thing's got volume growing for the long side. So I got 50 shares long, risking 39 cents to make $1.30, so I got a 3.30 there. Definitely got up there. So something that I should be noticing is that obviously this whole number is going to be a problem. So maybe what I should have done is taken half size on the break here and then added again on the break of the whole number. But this way, obviously, my entry is just 30 cents better than what it could be. Pulls back pretty hard there, though. That's not a good sign. But it does end up closing above the VWAP. Yeah, kind of the same situation. You know, it's bouncing off of that whole number, but the buyers definitely want to see it higher. So, I mean, the whole number was no problem at all. So I'm in the 20s. Had a nice break. Now I should be looking to take a partial, and I did. And then obviously 60 is going to be the next issue. I mean, it gets up there. It gets up there and it barely breaks it, and I got out. So that was a really quick trade. But I think I played that one pretty good. I honestly think I got pretty lucky that it broke the whole number up there, but I mean, buying was really strong, so good deal. And then the big trade was NWL. Risked 52 bucks on it. See, this is, I could have used bigger size on W again. You know, I'm only risking 20 bucks there. Risking 20 bucks, I was only down $12 on the trade at any given time. But NWL. Another triangle, short at 200 shares, risking 26 to make 34, so it's a little bit better than a 1-to-1. Definitely want to get it underneath the whole number, and it's the same situation, you know, the shorts with the circuit breaker, and I think I knew that I made that mistake this one time with the W trade, you know, entering in too early, but actually now that I think about it, I think I entered too early on this one too. Ah, yes. No, this was good. I saw the 99 and then I got in, but the 99 didn't really break or anything like that. But you can see the sellers were really stacking up there, and this thing's trying to push it down. So 200 shares means I'm risking about 25 cents. So if this thing hits that 31.75, I need to be taking a partial. Sellers still look good. Volume's pretty weak on that green candle there. Not so much that one. 9's pushing it down, which is absolutely helping. If I remember right, I think the market was really helping with this trade too. Helping push it down. The 5 looks pretty okay. Just gotta break that number. But I'm definitely really liking how the 9 is acting as a really strong resistance for it. Big buyers. You can see it. You can see the numbers just start to fade away on it. Alright, there's my 75. I took it at 79. Yeah. Probably could have been a little bit faster. And then it just keeps moving. You know, 60 is right where that past resistance was, right about here, so took it at 67, maybe a little early. Got down there, I guess. Big buyer here. But if I'm seeing these big numbers like that, and it's breaking through those numbers, you know, I want to keep part of that. This Tesla, I missed this Tesla trade. This would have been a really good trade too. I don't know what I was thinking on this one. I just didn't pull the trigger on it. And look at that 20, just rounded perfectly. I don't know what that is, but this 60's holding pretty good there. And again, look at those buyers. I was totally out of that trade at 55 though. Yeah, look at that Tesla trade. That's about perfect. But if I remember right, that NWL was almost exactly like that. I think it was that EVHC trade. It just had a really nice, crazy move. W got way up there. You know, same situation. You know, obviously you want to be part of that whole move, but just crazy. Like, I don't know. There were I think three trades that I can remember. This W, that NWL, and that yeah, like that. That's just unbelievable. So I guess the trades that I have been taking, I mean, just based on the past three trades like this, the big winners that I've had, you know, maybe I should be thinking about holding on to them a little bit longer, because these are just massive trades that I'm not getting, you know, as much as I would want to. You know, looking back at it now, obviously, yeah, you can say that, but I don't know, maybe I'm seeing things a little bit better, and these trades are just moving really good in my favor, because, you know, the volume is pretty good. No, the volume is definitely pretty good, because you can see all these 200,000s in here compared to how weak it was over here. I mean, maybe I should hold on to my partials a little bit longer, but I mean, that's just a crazy move. Just huge. And same situation, you know, with that W. Could use bigger size. Could use bigger size. So it's not a bad week. Definitely not a bad week. It was a pretty good week. You know, I'm taking profits where I should be taking profits at. But I mean, these stocks are making crazy moves. So I think a goal that I want to make, I definitely want to use bigger size, because really the past everything here, you know, you can see all these numbers that are less than 50. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's only 4 trades out of the past 17 that I risked $40 or more dollars. And you know, 50's obviously my max loss. But if I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at how I've been trading and how these stocks have been moving after I'm totally out, you know, I should be thinking about using bigger size. So my goal for this next week is definitely look for places where I can use bigger sizes, because there's more money to be made than what I am making right now. I mean, these are, you know, this is a good single, it's a good double, but I mean, these are home run trades, or at least they turn into home run trades. So goals are bigger size. Oh, I don't just want to say hold my partial longer, because I mean, this is 5 red candles in a row, and then we get a huge shooting star, and then you just got solid red after red. I mean, there's 2 green candles out of, I don't know, 20 something. which is just huge. So going back to the trade, so we got a green, we got a green, we got a green, green. And going back to the previous day, EVHC was green, 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 more green. I think that I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say don't take a partial, because I mean, just looking at it, you know, these are all green, and I only was in for not that whole move. So until I see a red candle, or what might be forming as a red candle, I shouldn't take a profit. Until I see a red candle forming, hold on to the trade. Obviously, I want to take money off the table. I want to put it in my pocket. I want to walk away. I want to be satisfied with where I'm taking profits. And I mean, I'm definitely taking profits at the right point. But with the way that these stocks are moving, I mean, these are just like there's no turnaround for any kind of reversal or nothing. I mean, these stocks are they're just blowing straight through everything, and I mean, there's no real reason to be thinking about getting 100% totally out of any of these trades. So I think that's definitely going to be a good goal for next week, is until I see like a red candle forming or like some kind of big significant pullback. Because these are all really good moves too, right out of where my entry was. So we got this W, really nice move right out of it. No problems at all. We break underneath the 38, huge nice candle there, 20 cents. And going back to EVHC, big breaks, not turning around at all. Still holding, making them green candles. So I think that's going to be a good one to have for next week. That'll be a way for, you know, I guess the past couple, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, my goal was to limit my losses. Then the week, like 2 weeks or last week, was to take profit at the proper profit target areas. And then last week was, how do I make my profit targets bigger? And this week was, okay, now I kind of see where I can get bigger profits. So that's definitely going to be the big goal for next week. So pretty good review session. Definitely happy with finding out how I can, you know, keep these trades bigger and you know, try and get more profit out of all these trades, because these are really good trades. You know, I want to be part of that whole move, but what's a good way to, you know, figure out if you want to be part of that whole move or not? So good stuff. Good week. Next week should be really fun. Definitely pretty excited to see how this holding on to these trades is going to go. Knowing me, it's probably going to make me a little nervous, probably a little fidgety, but again, I always got to keep in mind there's nothing wrong with taking money at the right places to take money. So that's the bottom line, is I need to be still making sure that I'm doing that, and to not let these trades, you know, turn against me at all, when I could have been putting money in my pocket and walking away with it. So that's what I'll be playing with next week. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back on Monday.